There he is. That was
There
right
he
on
is.
cue. How are you? What's up, John?
Boom. Boom. That's how I roll.
That's how you
CJ.
roll, man.
That's it, man.
Look at you, man. You look the same. You're looking good, man.
It's I never change, man.
No.
I'm the alpha and the omega of directing.
So, how are you dealing with all this right now?
Well, CJ, I'm having an excellent apocalypse. How
Yeah.
is yours?
You know what? I'm so busy with. Good thing I still work and I have teaching to do and stuff like that. So I'm lucky with that. But if I wasn't, I don't know. I don't know how I'd be losing my mind. I think so. Are you?
Yeah. But there've got to be people out there, who are doing the whole the scene from The Deer Hunter. Spinning in it and waiting for the bullet to land. Man. I know it's absolutely crazy. But my wife and I, we've been full-time filmmakers now for probably almost 20 years. So
that long now? Oh my gosh, that's
so
wow.
We've been preparing for this our entire lives.
Yeah,
we are quarantined. That's who we are. You're always working, you're always editing, you're always moving on to the next project. So
the people that were filming and just finished filming and have all this editing to do, it's perfect for them.
Yes. Well, the editing mind is such a different mind than any other creative person, to where they will kind of pull themselves up and look around and go, what month is this? That's the way my wife is, so she is she's the editor and the shooter, and then I direct and produce, and then we write together. So there's always something in the works.
Are you writing a lot right now?
We're doing some writing. We're doing some spec writing. One of the things that happens obviously is projects that were in the works that she was editing are kind of on hold right now. So we had just finished a feature in December that we had shot in Florida called Girl in the Palms. And so we're in the midst of editing that. And my wife, she said she had a dream last week, and she's told me about it. And I was like, okay. And now she's written about 30 pages of that.
Wow.
It's a new script.
Wow.
And I'm not offended that I'm not involved in it, but that's okay. I mean, sometimes you write them together. Sometimes it's her idea. Sometimes it's my idea. And hey, all the checks go to Cring, so that's okay.
Now, you do a lot. You do a lot of features. Have you done it? Yes. Have you gone back to do any shorts in a while, or that's long gone?
Shorts, honestly, CJ, I really believe that shorts are a completely different creative process. I've never made a short that I was like, I'm so happy with that. Yeah. And people who are able to do that, I'm super, super impressed with. Usually I will make a short if somebody hires me and wants me to, direct it or produce it or something like that. And I've made some that I really liked that way.
Yeah.
I worked with who you had on, Jack Schuyler.
Yeah.
He and I have done some very successful shorts together where we co-directed. But when it comes to short filmmaking, there are people that are just much better at it than I am.
And what about I know he was talking about web series or regular series. Have you done for a show?
Jack and I, we co-directed the one that he had with Enrico Colantoni, which was Death's Door.
You did that too?
Yes, I did.
There you go.
I was. Enrico's a great guy, man. It was funny because when we were shooting that, Pokemon Go had just become the really popular thing.
Really?
And by the end of that shoot, Enrico was loving it. He was walking around with his phone trying to catch them all, man.
Now I saw is that he said it was coming out. I saw the screener for it, not the full thing, the little promo, and it looked amazing. So can't wait to sit down and see the whole thing.
It was a uh, it it could be an amazing series. The idea that there are these doctors who are basically, all about sort of, the end of life and, taking care of people and making sure that they are as comfortable and as, that they are getting, the best quality is, really interesting world, because that's something that you don't really know about. So when Jack, took this book from the executive producer and adapted, this particular first episode for it, I just found it endlessly fascinating. Because yeah, in the end, yeah, these people die, but it's still very compelling.
Yeah, yeah. It's good stories there. Yeah, I mean, I
Oh
guess
God,
you can keep going. And
it's
especially
endless.
now. I think that would be perfect now in this time, like to
Yeah,
see like a show like that where like an ER, or like a
right.
like hospital. I mean, that's what I was looking for. Hospital.
Yeah, in hospice and that, yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
What's what I find is very interesting is this sort of like philosophical debate that we're having in this country about sort of the value of human life and the way that this is kind of the definition of the golden rule. The entire world is looking at other people and trying to do the same for them
yeah.
that they would have done for for each other. And I thought I find that very, very fascinating, and it really is philosophically the probably one of the most unique times we're going to experience.
And I think everyone is home writing about this right
Oh
now.
God,
We're gonna
no!
have
Do
years
not
of.
give me! Do not give me your coronavirus movie. I don't want to know.
We lived through it. We don't want to see it.
Exactly.
There's going to be a ton of them, but it's like,
Yeah.
please,
Yeah.
can we just
Exactly.
forget about it after it's over and move on and do our own
Well,
creative?
Trauma was brilliant. Did you see what they had done?
No, I
They
didn't see what they did.
No,
No.
no, no. What Trauma has already done is they've basically taken clips from probably about a dozen of their other movies, put them together, and then they dubbed in coronavirus comedy dialogue.
What? Wow.
So it has created a coronavirus zombie feature.
Wow. I wonder if Ming's in it. Ming was in a Trauma film.
Yeah, quite possible. Quite possible. But I mean, that was you gotta love guys like Lloyd Kaufman, man, and Roger Corman, man. They're the heroes. They're the guys that do it no matter what. That's all.
Absolutely.
That's kind of always been my philosophy. Right now, I've got a movie on Herflix called Darcy. I've got a movie that's on Tubi called The Night We Met, and I have one coming out on Glasshouse Distribution called Hobo Jesus, and that was the one. And that was the one that from like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So these things, they don't have a shelf life.
No.
Eventually, if you keep trying to get them out there, eventually they'll find a home.
I saw it years ago at Hoboken.
Yes.
Has it changed since
then? Dude, that was such a funny day.
Yeah, it was a funny day.
Yeah, because Hoboken had us like in a garage.
That's right.
And there was like a sheet hanging there or something, and there were like these dirty, nasty couches. And I swear there was like you and maybe like one other person there for the screening. And here we are now, man.
Here we are.
We became friends as a result of that.
Absolutely. That was a fun day. And then after that, we all like went out to eat. And you know what? Middletown, man, it was, I don't know, it was like dead. It was like there was nothing open. That's what I felt sorry for them. They had this beautiful theater, and then you get to go to the garage.
Yeah, it's all right. That's all right, babe. I mean that's the whole thing with
it was a lot of fun
with film festivals and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you don't know who's going to see your film. You don't know if it's going to be a great screening or a bad screening, and you just got to do it for the love of it, man.
Yeah,
You know,
Absolutely.
we're not in this for celebrity, you know,
No.
or if we are, I'm not doing it right.
Yeah, me either. I'm doing it for the love,
That's
you
it.
know.
That's it, man.
But it is cool though. I don't care who sees the film, but it's like, check it out, see what you think.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. You know, I mean, the most important thing to me is the most people to see the movie. You
Yeah,
know, I mean, that is what, you know, that is why I make these things for people to see them. And, you know, and if you have a movie and it's not really out there and it's not being distributed, then, you know, what is the point? You know,
mhm.
what is the point of it? So, you know, that's always now making money off the distribution. That's another thing,
Yeah.
but we won't talk about that.
It just comes with it. If you get people to watch it, it will all come, right? It will come to you.
Sure, babe.
Yeah.
From your lips to God's ears. Oh, I tipped over. Oh my
Yeah.
God. There we
Um,
go.
do you have what the websites, and Mig can put them up there so they could go
Sure.
see your films on those websites if you want
Yeah.
to say them
Yeah.
again. And
Sure. That's herflix.com. That's herflix. It's sort of a female centric, almost like a female Netflix kind of a thing. And then Tubi, everybody knows Tubi. The Night We Met is the name of that film, and that's almost like a modern John Hughes kind of a film.
oh yeah,
Yeah. It was a really really cool experience
love
making
John
that
Hughes.
movie.
I love
Yeah.
John Hughes.
Well, the movie takes place. Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Say
The movie
Ferris, babe.
the movie takes place over the course of one evening, and it's kind of all about the magic date that everybody has kind of had sometime in their life, where it's kind of,
Mm,
you know, you're like, I can't believe this, we went here and we went there, and it's almost like you fall in love overnight, and sometimes that lasts and sometimes it doesn't, but it's just bellissimo,
yeah.
it's just perfect. And
I,
that's what that movie's about.
I haven't seen that one of yours. I gotta go check that one out. That's
Yeah,
definitely on my list. I gotta
yeah,
watch that.
yeah. Well, it's on Tubi, so you can see it for free.
Uh,
Oh,
awesome.
and I just found out that our movie Little by Peep, um, uh, which is an LGBT feature that I did with an amazing actress named Anna Shields, is not only you can see it for free on YouTube, but it's going to be on the Screw channel too. You know, the famous adult magazine, Screw magazine. It
Mhm.
now has a television channel, and
No.
Little by Peep will be on that channel.
Oh wow. I remember you promoting that a while back. That
Yeah.
film. Yeah. Yeah. And have you worked with that actress before or after, or is it?
Anna is a great friend. She and I started out on a movie called Creeping Crawling, which was an anthology horror movie,
Mhm.
and we ended up hiring her the night before we were supposed to shoot, because
Wow.
somebody else fell through,
Wow.
and she is a superstar and has lives in Los Angeles now, and she's got like probably a dozen films to her credit. She's doing absolutely amazing. The girl in our movie, Darcy, actually is one of the stars of the Apple TV show Dickinson.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have Apple TV. That's the one thing I don't have. It's something there's so
Dude,
many of them out there,
dude,
right?
there are so many freaking platforms
So
now.
many.
I
So
mean, you're
many.
just you're just basically just here. Here's my credit card. Put everything on it.
Yeah.
That's all you can really do.
I just canceled Showtime to save money to get something else because I'm done with the shows I was watching on Showtime. So I'm
Oh, what were you?
done.
Okay, so you were watching Homeland? What were you watching?
I was watching Ray Donovan,
Oh,
which is done for now. They might come back and do one more thing and one more season of Shameless.
okay, okay.
Um, so I had it on my thing, and I was watching them, and so I canceled it for now. I'm like, well, I'm going to get another thing.
Yeah,
So
dude, yeah. there is no end to
Just got to keep switching. And if the shows come back, I'll switch. And
it's all about the original content, man. That's the thing that drives people there. I really want, I really want to get into the television thing, but I've just never have done that before. I've never written television, or I mean, cable access and things like that, but nothing really like ongoing, because that's really, that's where the big bucks are, baby.
It changed.
That's where your cheddar is.
Remember, it wasn't back in the day when we were younger.
Yeah.
It was where your career went after you made film.
Right.
Now it's where you go.
Oh, absolutely, man. All movie stars, and but here's the thing. Even if somebody is huge on television, there is still a cachet with movies.
Yeah.
So you can get somebody who has a huge following and get them onto your indie film, and a lot of the times they'll work for scale, or get somebody really good for like $10,000. You can actually do that.
Yeah.
Because people want to be in quality, they want to be in good work. And the other advantage, obviously, with movies is it doesn't take as much time.
Yeah.
They can get in and get offset.
They can do it in the summer if they're not filming. They got June, July, August.
CJ, they could totally Eric Roberts that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Eric Roberts does it a little too much.
Yeah, I'm gonna start using Eric Roberts as an adjective. Like, that guy totally fucking Eric Roberts that, and you can decide what that means.
It can go in any direction.
Exactly.
But I know exactly what you're talking about, and a lot of people listening know what you're talking about too.
Exactly.
It's like, how did this guy do 200 movies this year?
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing about it is he actually came all the way back around. He started, and people were like, "Oh, wow, okay. Oh man, why is he doing so many movies? Oh, that's not good for his career." And he's back around to, "That's incredible how many movies he's doing. How many will he do?" So Eric Roberts is so far ahead of us, man.
He does all that, and then he'll be in an Academy Award winning film. And then he'll do like 10 others in the next week.
Absolutely. No, and I have many friends who have worked with Eric, who do work with him, and they say he's always solid. He never knows his lines, but that's okay.
That's okay.
It's okay.
And how can you? He's on. I heard I was at something, and they're like, "Yeah, he couldn't be here because he's on a set today, and then he's doing another set tomorrow."
Exactly.
I'm like, how did you learn your lines? Yeah.
Eric Roberts is the new Brando.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. But no, and then you watch films that he was in back in the day. I'm like, Best of the Best. He was in The Dark Knight. The Pope of Greenwich Village. I mean, come on.
No, absolutely. And he always he's always strong. He always delivers. The most important thing to me, man, is having somebody that wants to be there, that it's all about, the energy on set.
Yeah.
When we just did this movie, Girl in the Palms, man, it had like a, super tiny, minuscule, itty bitty budget. We shot for 13 days all over Florida. We shot 30 locations. We were everywhere, man. We went from Tampa all the way down to, Key West.
Wow.
And it was amazing. And it was like what a good film should be. It should feel like summer camp. It's either like summer camp or going to war.
Yeah.
Depending on the film,
Oh, I always wanted to, and I never got the chance, because most of the stuff I film is in New Jersey or New York. But I always wanted to be like Michael Caine and just pick, like, if they're filming in like warm weather or like where he wants to take a vacation, that's the film he picks. That's why he did Jaws: The Revenge.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, that's all he did. He's like, oh, I could spend a month on an island. Yeah, I'm doing that. Like,
absolutely. You can see that too sometimes, right? Like when you watch Ocean's 12. that was just an excuse to go to George Clooney's,
let's go.
place.
Yeah, let's
exactly.
go hang out there and put a movie together.
It had nothing to do with the movie, it had nothing to do with quality or anything like that. But that's the fun of this business, is you get to kind of run around and play and spend some other people's money.
Yeah, absolutely. And you try to have a good, I love it when on the sets they're just having a good time and laid back and relaxed. And then the high strung ones, the crazy, like you got to get those are a little like, oh man. But sometimes you need it. But
yeah, the most important thing is we are all there to serve the movie. To me, that's the bottom line. Whenever your ego or your department or your idea gets in the way of the movie's success, that's when we're going to have a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I understand you want to have the most amount of time, you want to be able to do the best hair or the best makeup or whatever, but you're getting in the way of my day and getting it done. So that's, as long as we are all understand that we're there to serve the movie. They're not, I'm the director, okay, I'm there to serve the movie more than anybody. So and the other the other part of it is that this isn't rocket science. We're not going to treat each other badly. This has to be a fun experience. If it's not fun, we're not going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then and it's addicting. You want to keep going. That's why a lot of people right now are probably going nuts, going, I want to film.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's great. People, they got their cameras, they're trying to do their quarantine film festivals, and my friend, her name is Starina Johnson, and she's like one of my oldest friends. She goes all the way back to some of my first films I ever made. When I was back in the when my wife and I started, we did something called the Extraordinary Film Project, where we were trying to make 12 feature films in 12 months. Wow. So it was like every month we were coming out with another feature. Wow. And Starina goes all the way back to, I think, my second film. And she's in LA now. She's a very successful playwright and actress. And she did just a great, just a touching quarantine film, shot it in about 3 hours, and she's submitting it to the festivals. And it's, it's a beautiful piece, because it really is about, that trying to make connections, when everything in the world is trying to keep us apart.
You could do a lot of cinematography. So you could practice a lot of camera work.
Sure, absolutely. This is the time to sharpen your tool, man.
Yeah,
and I don't mean that in a sexual way, CJ. Okay. This is where, if it comes to writing, or if it comes to editing, or producing, or pre-production, or whatever, and if you want to get out there and just shoot with your iPhone, man, go ahead and do that. There's no reason at all that you shouldn't be finding a way to be creative right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Have you ever shot anything on an iPhone and had it out there?
I did not shoot something on an iPhone, but actually I was the happiest I've ever been with a short film. Was I shot on the shittiest little mini DV, like I don't even know. This was probably about 10 years ago.
Like a pocket.
Yeah, like just a terrible little camera. And I went to Coney Island, and I got an idea together of, basically, this guy was stalking this girl, and we went all over Coney Island. I brought in a model friend of mine, where she wouldn't have to really be talking. All she'd have to do is do VO. And it ended up being probably my favorite thing I've ever done, because it was as far as the short film was concerned, because it was so raw, and it was incredibly illegal. So that's always fun too.
Yes, it's a lot of cool stuff you can shoot in Coney Island.
That's right. Shots, right. Oh my God. It's incredible looking. And, it looked like, it looked like this really expensive film because I got no permission and no releases from anybody. So
Those are always the best ones. They always
yeah, absolutely, man. No, do you ever see that there's a really cool indie film about these and they went to Disneyland and they shot a horror movie.
I heard about
Yes.
that.
Yes.
I don't know where you can find it, but I heard about that. And wasn't like Disney going to sue them or didn't, or
they were going to, and then they decided, I think they saw the film and they went, it was pretty good, and I don't know if it ever made any money or anything. And maybe the Rolling Stones, taking all of the money, from people who, try to use like little clips of their songs or something like that. I don't know. But maybe it gave them a career. That's the thing. Sometimes the little things you do, that's one of the ways that you turn around and all of a sudden you're directing a freaking Marvel movie.
Yeah. A lot of nowadays, all these YouTube stars are becoming actors.
Yeah.
Wait, who are you? Oh, like I was on YouTube. I'm big on YouTube. I'm like,
that's actually what happened with a Girl in the Palms.
Oh.
We found an Instagram star. She's her name is Lupe Cuevas. She's amazing. She's got about over 400,000 followers. And one of the things that she does is that she's always changing her looks, like all of these different makeups and wigs and things like that. So we incorporated that into her character because in the film, it's almost like she's on this like spiritual quest where she leaves after a tragedy upstate New York and she goes to Florida because it's so the opposite of what she's experiencing in upstate, the cold and the wet and all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And we use her constantly changing her look and her as kind of like her trying to discover her personality. So it was really interesting because with this film we would sort of take really interesting people and then we built characters around them.
Wow.
who they actually were. So that's the first time I've ever done that before, and it was really, really gorgeous. I wanted to do kind of a Harmony Korine kind of a film like Spring Breakers or Beach Bum, but where the center of it was not sort of depravity, which is sort of like Harmony's thing. I really wanted it to be more of a vision quest that she was on, where she didn't have to do all of the pot in the world like Matthew McConaughey did in The Beach Bum.
Well, that's great to be using that, like, and all those followers. I'm sure they'll all see the film and
maybe
a lot of promotion, and you never know how it works. But I guess that just seems like a thing that's happening now. Like you hit it big on the media,
right? Become
an actor, actress, and some make it. Some are very good at it.
Well, another of the stars of those films is this wonderful, wonderful actress named Monique Parent. And she had a very big career like in the 90s in sort of kind of softcore erotic films. But then now she has a big career on YouTube because she has this beautiful gray hair and she has like 250,000 people that want to follow her doing her makeup tutorials and talking about her hair. So she's still an actress, but she also has this other world on YouTube. And Monique is somebody that I've wanted to work with pretty much, my entire career. And we were able to create a character that was a former actress, in that world. So we just used everything that she already knew and she already had in her life. And actually she ended up, some of the monologues were directly from conversations that I had with her. There was one point where somebody said, I really get sick of people bringing up the fact that, I was, naked in a movie. Yeah, I was naked for about 20 minutes of that movie, but for the other 70 minutes, I was acting my ass off. and I was like, that's going in the movie, because sometimes people just say things and it's just like, wow, that's dialogue right there. That's
how
it.
it gets
It's
in.
like
Yeah.
I'm just writing that down and saying that I came up with it.
Sometimes it's the best lines, right? I mean,
Oh, absolutely, man.
Jaws. I think you need a bigger boat. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
that was not scripted. It was
No,
there.
no, absolutely. Well,
He says it twice too.
right. Well, right. And in Taxi Driver, all it says is that he's looking in the mirror
Yeah,
and talking to himself.
that's
That's
great.
all it says.
Amazing. Sometimes it's just great sometimes. And then that give the writer the credit.
Yeah. Hey, man. Taxi Driver is one of the greatest films ever made. So, and it's not just because of that scene. So, Scorsese gets the credit for that.
Yeah. Well, before we go and everything, I like to have everyone give some advice because I teach class, TV film class, and
Right.
Since you are a producer and director, we have a lot of them in my class, my particular classes. What advice would you give someone? I have a few going to film school, and I feel a few others that take the class or taking it again. What advice would you give them, those who want to go into directing and producing?
I think Dante said it best when it was woe to all ye who enter here, something like that, talking about hell. No, man, it all depends on, I was doing a talk for another film class, and I talked about the fact that you have to decide what success is. If success is celebrity, that's one thing. I decided a long time ago, with Tracy, that success to us was going to be full-time doing something involving filmmaking, whether that's editing or acting or shooting or producing or whatever. That was going to be success. And we were going to just continue on and trying to make that success happen every day. So just, figure out, are you an indie guy? Are you going to do you have your own stories to tell? Or are you hoping to, work for somebody else and, and support their dreams? But, what you can't guarantee is who's going to watch it, whether they're going to like it, and are you ever going to have enough money? All of those are basically out of your hands, and you just kind of keep shooting for the stars, man. Keep trying to make your dreams happen.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, man. It was great talking to you. I got to start ending the show.
Hey, no worries, bro.
Thanks.
Hey,
I could talk forever, right?
Hey, well, no. I really love your show. I think it's awesome that you get a bunch of us crazy people on there, man. I really appreciate the opportunity. So yeah, you can also check out my website at www.cinemarebellion.com.
Awesome. Great, man. It's great. I'm going to go watch your movie again. So when I can, what is it on again? The other one that you said.
Okay. The Night We Met is on Tubi.
Tubi. I got to get it.
Yeah. TUBI, Tubi, and Darcy is on Herflix. So go spend some money and see some indie films, folks.
Absolutely, man. A lot of people, they should, because there's not much else to do. I'm going to go watch Ozark right now because I'm on season. I just started season 3.
Nice. All right, bro.
All right. Good to talk to you, and hopefully see you soon at a festival.
Absolutely, man. Hopefully we'll be unhermetically sealed.